Hello, BookTube. I thought I would give you a tedious tech update on some recent issues that have come up here in Steve's little world, in the little world of Steve's book room. I showed you my MacBook Air. My MacBook Air is almost 10 years old. It's from 2011. And I have used it quite a bit. I love it. And as a result of using it quite a bit, the keyboard, I don't know if you can see there, the A, S, and D keys have worn out very badly. They are not just scuffed. You can actually look through them. The black covering of the plastic, the baked covering of the plastic keys, has worn out completely, so that when this is backlit, the light from underneath is showing through there. In other words, these keys are going to crack. Sooner or later, the middle of these keys is just going to wear right through, no matter what I do. And that concerned me because I don't want this to be a useless machine. I can't stand useless machines. I want this to work as a working machine. And all I need it to do is write documents and then email those documents as attachments to someone else. That's all that I need a laptop computer to do. All the rest of it is gravy. All the rest of it I can do on my phone. I can do Discord and Voxer. I can do Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. I can do all of that, on my phone. All I really need a laptop to do. I don't know why this is bothering me. Why are you bothering me? Oh, it's because it's my fault. All I need a laptop to do is that. Because, and I know that my phone could do that, but it's a little cumbersome on the phone. I'm a 10-finger touch typer, so I'm not a visual typer. I don't hunt and peck. So I really need a keyboard to do most of the work that I do during the day. So my first thought about those keys was to order replacement keys online. Just a whole keyboard of replacement keys. And I did that. I was very careful. I was very specific. And the vendor online, I don't know why I didn't listen to Sean D. Standfast. He's made many videos about the nightmare experience of ordering things on Amazon. But I've had lots of good experiences with Amazon. So I ordered a key set where the vendor specifically said the keys were for this model of MacBook Air, and the vendor was lying. Plain and simple. I'll never be able to tell anybody about that because Amazon muzzles you if you call a vendor a liar. The vendor got the product to me in record time, considering that we're in a worldwide pandemic, and the product was in perfect, beautiful condition, so I can't fault the vendor for any of that, but the vendor knew perfectly well these keys did not work for this model of MacBook Air and said that they did anyway. So the keys were just a tiny bit too big. It turns out that these keys popped off with fairly little fanfare. That was fairly easy to do. Replacing them would have been simple if the replacement keys had worked. I inadvertently threw quite a few of you into psychological turmoil when I mentioned. I showed you. I got the keys in a mail package, and I opened it and showed them to you. And I mentioned that I didn't really need to order the whole keyboard, that any keys would work there. I don't care if it's a semicolon or the number 3 or whatnot. They don't have to be the A, D, and S key, because I'm not looking at the keys when I type. I sent quite a few of you into a tizzy. It was not my intention. I did not mean to cause psychological damage, but quite a few of you went into a tizzy over the fact that I might put keys there that weren't the corresponding A, D, and S keys. Primates. Gotta love them. Anyway, the replacement would have worked just fine, but the keys didn't fit. And now, of course, I am gun shy because I'm wondering if I go to some other venue on Amazon, some other vendor, are they going to be lying as well? When I specify what model I need these keys for, is another vendor going to be lying as well? I'm not going to bother to bag these things up and mail them back and wait for a refund and go through an appeal process or anything like that. I'm just going to take the hit on the cost of these things. So I thought, okay, what are some other avenues that you can try to get around this? And the only one that I could think of for this actual MacBook was to use a clear plastic cover. And that's what I ordered. I ordered a clear plastic cover for this keyboard to just go right over it and protect the keys as much as a clear plastic cover could do. And I've been using that, and it works just fine. The only problem with it is that the clear plastic cover it mutes the play of the naked keys. And I have found that it mutes the play of the naked keys just enough so that I feel like I need to type a little harder to make the original, to make the keys work the way I want them to. And naturally that has me thinking, well, okay, if you got the plastic keyboard to protect those keys from wear, but the plastic keyboard is causing you to type a little harder on those keys, then you're defeating the purpose of the whole thing just in general. So I'm going to use it because I'm pretty sure that the plastic keyboard cover will hold the key in place even if it does crack. I don't know that one way or another, but thinking that I was maybe hurting this thing as much as I was helping it has revived my interest in doubling down and looking to see if there is a vendor who will actually guarantee that they are giving me 2011 MacBook Air keys. I only need 3, and they don't have, despite the damage that's done to your psyches, I don't need those 3 keys to be those 3 letters. All I need is someone to guarantee that they have the right thing, and then I can do that, and I can replace the keys there. But I started thinking along another line as well, another technological line. In addition to a keyboard cover for this thing, I thought, well, okay, what about if you start to employ other technology to give yourself, the key isn't that I'm in love with this MacBook Air. It has lots of fond memories for me, but what I really want is to not lose a working machine. I like redundancy in my machines because for a long time in this new era, in the 21st century, for a long time I had one computer and I had no idea how it worked, no technical competence whatsoever. So that if anything went wrong, I had a kid that I knew was my tech help. And I couldn't describe anything to him. I had no vocabulary for it. So if something went wrong, I had to bring it to him or get him to come and look at it. And there was no backup. If that happened, my whole online world had to stop until I got tech advice. Now, largely that's not true anymore. I am much more tech savvy with the machines that I have now. But in addition to that, another way around that, in addition to gradually, slowly, old dog learning new tricks, getting more familiar with how these things work, so that a MacBook Air or my MacBook Pro or even the old MacBooks that I have from 15 years ago, when they throw up tech problems for me now, I can often solve that problem. And if I can't, a whole ecosystem of YouTube videos has sprung up in between that didn't exist 10 years ago when I was having problems on MacBooks that can help me to walk through there. So in one level, my knowledge is such that I'm not really going to come a cropper anymore, and that's good because I think that kid is long gone, and all my kids can't visit anymore because of the pandemic. But on the other end, I thought, okay, well, the other solution to that stopping your tracks tech problem, because that absolutely can't happen. It absolutely can't happen that I'm stopped in my tracks. All of my life, all of my living, all of my livelihood is done via the computer. I don't go to any office and do any work. So it absolutely can't happen. There can't be a day where that happens unless it's an act of God. It's fine if I tell an editor or a sub-editor or whatever that I had no Wi-Fi yesterday because of the pouring rain. Everybody understands that. But it can't be I had no ability to do work yesterday because something happened on my computer and because I'm a billion years old I didn't understand it. No. So the other solution that I had, and keep in mind I warned you that this video would be tedious. I may even put tedious in the title. The other solution that I had was to somehow develop another laptop computer without going out and buying one, because I have a stack of laptop computers. I have a stack of them. I don't need to buy another one, as long as I've got these things that are working. And I came up with a way that I originally envisioned years ago, 10 years ago, and I tried it, and I got a bad piece of technology, and instead of thinking like a normal person, thinking, okay, what you got here is a bad piece of technology, the idea is not bad. It's just the one piece of technology that you picked is bad. You should pick another piece of technology. I didn't think that way. Instead, I said a plague on all their houses and just dismissed the idea, and I came up with the idea again, and that is to get a Bluetooth keyboard for an iPad. And I thought, okay, look around, be very careful about the model and make, so you're getting the right-sized Bluetooth keyboard, a clam case Bluetooth keyboard, so not a keyboard that floats just in space, but a keyboard that is connected to the device. I looked, I researched carefully, and I got one. I don't think that it even has a name. The manufacturer. I don't think the manufacturer even has a name. It certainly has no brand name. And I tried it. I charged it and I put the iPad in it, and I turned it. It's got a neat backlight. I don't know if you can see. It's got a backlight that sometimes works and sometimes I haven't figured out a way to keep the backlight on. I think that'd be neat. But I tried it. I synced it to this iPad and worked on it. This is an 11-inch. It's a very small keyboard, and it works like a charm. Works like a charm. This iPad, of course, has Open Office. It has email. It has everything that I need it to do, and the keyboard makes this a laptop, which allows me to do the two things that I need a laptop to do: generate a Word document and then email it as an attachment outside of my computer. So this worked. I don't know who these people are that make this thing, but I ordered it. It wasn't dirt cheap, but it wasn't expensive either. And it has changed this iPad from just a display machine into a working laptop. And this is one of those things where if you turn it all around, the device automatically disconnects the touch. So that if you turn it around, you can use this. Even though your fingers are touching the keyboards, you're not actually doing anything. The keyboard disconnects from commanding the computer when you fold it all around. But I found that I don't really care about that. I found that actually it's really neat to have this as a book, to just treat this as a book. So when I'm reading a document, I just hold it as a book. When I'm reading an ebook, for instance, and I found that I don't mind that at all. So the second part of your tedious tech update is that approach worked perfectly, and it naturally has me wondering if maybe I shouldn't get a few more Bluetooth keyboards. I have, for instance, I don't think I have it with me, I have a big 11 or 12-inch Barnes & Noble Nook tablet that's brand new. And I have never tried either to get around the Barnes & Noble skin on that thing and just make it a working Android tablet. I've never tried that. I bet it's easy. I bet I could do it. I bet it wouldn't be any hard at all. And without rooting it, I bet I could just do that. I was able to convince my Barnes & Noble, my Amazon tablet, my Amazon Fire, to do that in 15 minutes. And it's fantastic now because I have full access to the Google Play Store that you don't have on the normal skin of that thing. I bet I could do that, and I bet that there's a wide variety of keyboard cases out there that'll fit that'll work with that Barnes & Noble Nook. I bet I'm not restricted to the Barnes & Noble product. That'd be another working machine. All of it done in a kind of memento mori, because I don't know how long this is going to last. I have the keyboard cover on this thing, and I will keep looking for replacement keys. But if I don't find the replacement keys, I don't know how long this stopgap is going to last. The keyboard cover is making me type a little harder, which is going to take wear and tear on those keys and on all the other keys as well. So I don't know how that's going to work. Any thoughts that you might have on the subject would be fine by me. Also, so I should point out, if you yourself have a 2011 MacBook Air that maybe doesn't work, maybe it's broken, it hasn't worked in a long time, you have it in a drawer somewhere, I want those keys. If you're never going to use that machine again, if you've updated your MacBook Air and the old MacBook Air has a cracked screen or a defective motherboard or something like that, and you know you're not going to use it anymore, you're not going to put in the money to fix it, then what I want you to do is either box up the whole machine and mail it to me, or pry off the keys and mail a whole bunch of them to me. The A, D, and S key, yes, but pry off as many of them as you want. As long as you're sure you're not going to use the machine anymore, let's harvest it for parts. then the only question will be not so much the health and welfare of your old decrepit MacBook that you're never going to use again. It has to be something that you pull out of a drawer that you're never going to use again. Otherwise, I'd feel terrible. But if you're sure you're never going to use it again, then my first option would be mail the whole thing to me, because it might be salvageable. I might be willing to use it. If you play video games on it or watch videos on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever, I can understand why you might not want such an old machine. But all I need it for is word processing. It could be that I can salvage your old MacBook, in which case I wouldn't need the replacement keys. But even if I can't, you could still pry off the keys and send them to me. No, the question isn't going to be the health and welfare of your MacBook Air, because I only want something that you're not using anymore, that you have retired permanently and just haven't got rid of. No, the question would be the health and welfare of the person who goes to the post office to send it to me, because we are still in a pandemic. Your post office is open. But I'd want the person that you choose to send to the post office to be relatively expendable. So that's up to you. That's a personal decision on your part. I can't actually condemn one of you to death. Although sometimes I'm tempted. Anyway, that's your tedious tech update. I got the wrong keys. The wrong keys were sent to me. Otherwise, I'd be happy as a clam. I wouldn't have needed to do any alternate stuff at all. I would have a bag full of keys that I could just use as I need them. Instead, I still have to keep looking for keys, but I have a keyboard cover in case I want to use this MacBook Air. And in the meantime, the stopgap measure that I thought would be unworkable because the last clam case Bluetooth keyboard that I got was terrible, turns out to be wonderful. This keyboard is wonderful. And it makes me wonder if maybe I should be syncing every tablet that I have to a Bluetooth keyboard. So there's your tedious tech update. You asked for it. I know you didn't ask for it. It's a turn of phrase. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up for now. Not a moment too soon, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.